speaking of Arrow, one of my favorite characters, Arrow Season 6 breaks Diggle physically and emotionally. Now, I don't know how much more Diggle can take. He's already murdered his brother. He's had his child change from a girl to a boy. Not in like a surgery way, but like the time change with Flash.
Wibbly wobbly.
Yeah.
Timey wimey.
Changed some things with the timeline and everything and went from Baby Sarah, I think that's what her name was, to I don't know what the other kid.
I can't remember the kid. We're horrible.
Baby boy guy thing. So
he, out of all the Arrow people, I feel like obviously it's Oliver who's had the most.
Mm-hmm.
Thea.
Yeah.
And then it's Diggle.
Yeah.
I know Laurel and Sarah had the, I lost my sister. And it flip-flop.
Yeah.
But, like, for him to be able to come through all of that and still be John Diggle, what's going to break him? Because I know what happens at the end of season 5 shakes some people, shakes a lot of things.
Shakes some people, like baby shaking.
A lot of baby shaking.
So, as reported by CBR, that's Comic Book Resource for the people that don't know, Ramsey, which is David Ramsey, the actor for Diggle, said, "We have to break Diggle. I think season 6 will see Diggle get broken in a way that he hasn't been broken before." Ramsey went on to say the explosion that occurred at the end of season 5's finale profoundly affects Diggle emotionally and physically. Apparently, the impact that this has on the character won't go away immediately and may continue on for quite some time. Ramsey describes Diggle's upcoming arc as something new for the character and one that could be even more life-changing than his brother's return from the dead, Diggle's decision to kill him, and the death of Laurel Lance. They go on to talk about how his relationship with Lila, is it Lila? Lila, right?
Yes.
Is going to be tested because Argus is hunting down metahumans. And now the new Black Canary is a metahuman. So there's going to be this tension between him and his wife because he's keeping secrets. And there's going to be tension between Team Arrow and Argus. There's usually some tension, but it's going to ramp it up.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to ramp it up past Amanda Waller levels.
And that's ramping.
That's ramping. That's
ramping.
Ramsey also spoke about Diggle's place in the Arrowverse, a world which describes superheroes like the Flash and Supergirl, describing the character as the nuts and bolts guy. Ramsey explains that Diggle's reaction to the world of superheroes is not only humorous, but something that comes from a real place. On top of Diggle's other problems, he's forced to deal with the fact that he has to defend the world in a world where people can move faster than light. That's why I like Diggle. That's why I like him. He's the glue. Mm-hmm. He's the glue. He's the Kevin Coelho, if you will, of Team Arrow. There you go. A little shout out to my kind of funny friends.
I was waiting for it. But you're right. Like, he is the glue that sticks everybody together. He the level-headed one, and which is what's making it so crazy is how he's going to be the one to break in the season, and because he's always been the Rock. Like, he's always been telling Oliver, get out of your own head. Yeah. But now he's going to be in his.
And he's also been the one that kind of has redeemed Oliver in places.
Yeah. I think it's going to be Oliver reversing the roles and being like, come on, dig.
Dig deep.
Dig your head out of your butt.
Dig deep. Dig deep. Now, this franchise has had more problems with it. They need to dig deep. They need to figure some things out here.
They do.
They really do. Doctor Strange actor Mads Mikkelsen might be interested in playing Doctor Doom in Noah Hawley's movie.
I'm trying to remember who he is.
He's the evil guy.
Oh, he was the bad guy.
Yeah, he was the bad guy.
Yeah.
Mads Mikkelsen has long been a fan favorite choice to play the villainous Doctor Doom on the big screen, and it looks like he might be interested in taking a look at Noah Hawley's planned solo movie. Now, I don't know if you know this. He was actually in the running to be in the Josh Trank Fantastic Four.
Yep, I read that.
But he wasn't in the running for Doctor Doom. He was actually in the running for Reed Richards, which is really weird. really, really weird. So, despite all of that, despite all of that, this is what he said. It's always interesting. They're experimenting with doing some of the villain stories as well. Let's see if they do that. I'm not familiar with what they've done with anyone yet. They haven't done it with the Joker, and they haven't done it with the Penguin, so we'll see what they're doing. So they're making a standalone movie. That's what he's talking about here. However, it sounds like Doom would have to be written as more than just standard one-dimensional bad guy, which I'm glad for Mickelson to consider taking the role. Well, he says, well, I hope all the characters have a little more rounded shape in the sense they have two sides of the coin. Yes, they're villains. Hannibal is a baddie, but at the same time, we kind of like him. I think all the characters, goodies or baddies, that's really weird, should have a little of both, and I think every actor looks in that in their character.
Yeah, like I'm very happy that they talked about not being a one-dimensional bad guy, because Doom is the ruler over Vladimir.
I don't remember.
Latveria.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's the ruler of
Yeah.
that. So I would kind of like to see. Yeah, I would love to see the bad side of him, going up against, superheroes and stuff like that. But I also kind of want to see the dictator side of things too. Flesh him out a lot, because that's what I like to see is the backstory.
Well, if you look at Game of Thrones, and George R.R. Martin has talked about this several times, that, the villains aren't just these inherently evil people. They're the hero of their own story. So I think if they write Dr. Doom as the hero of his own story, yes, of course, to the outside world, he looks evil. But in his mind, he's doing the things that he thinks hero should do and what is right. And I think if they go that route of doing that, making him interesting, writing him in a way that's not necessarily Game of Thrones-esque, but taking that approach where it's not just, oh, he's Dr. Doom, oh, look at him, he's wearing a metal mask, or he looks like tinfoil, all of that kind of stuff. I think it will make the character more believable and ground him more, because, go back to Game of Thrones, you've got people that Season 1, you hated Jaime Lannister. You absolutely hated Jaime Lannister. But in Season 7 now, you're kind of like, I really like Jaime Lannister because he's had an interesting character arc.
Yeah, very interesting.
And that's what Dr. Doom needs. And I think that could bring back the Fantastic Four, because that's one of the biggest problems with any superhero movie is their villains are usually just one-sided coins and just kind of just blank slates, just like, they're evil, ha ha ha, I'm a jokester, look at this.
And
I'm not saying the portrayals are bad, I'm saying the writing.
The writing is bad, so far for me, and it's not because it's Thor related, but up until now, Loki has been one of the better villains.
Oh,
because
100%.
Loki, you see the good and the bad with Loki.
But because he's low-key about it sometimes.
Very low-key. But but we need to see more of that in Marvel, DC, whatever it is.
Anything.
Whatever your bad guy is, we have to have good bad guys for these movies to keep working.
Yeah.
And, we saw it, Age of Ultron, really big letdown, because they had Ultron, which was just this. Could have been phenomenal bad guy.
Yeah.
And they dropped the ball. I still enjoyed the movie for the most part, but it was still a letdown for the bad guy. But I'm hoping that when they bring Dr. Doom in, because he's such an interesting character.
Yeah, and you look at, have you watched Spider-Man Homecoming yet?
Yes.
Okay, so you look at the bad guy that's in Spider-Man Homecoming, and you see the Vulture, you see where he started and why he's at where he was. It was such a good way to take that character and give him a reason to do these things. It wasn't just like, oh, I'm going to get wings and I'm going to fly around.
Yeah.
It was an actual reason for it, and it made it more believable. Yes, it's a man wearing wings and flying around. That's not realistic, but the motivation for him to go bad was
very realistic.
Yes, it was. And that's what we need. Look at Jeff Bridges' character in Iron Man 1. He had a reason to go bad because he didn't want to lose the company. But then you look at the guy in Iron Man 2. He's like, I like whips. It didn't really...
Whips and chains excite him.
Yes, exactly. So... Yes. I need to like put that guy's face on the canvas. But that's our cry. Give us good villains.
Yes,
Give us good.
It helps. It helps the movie. It helps sells the movie.
Yeah, and you look at Ramsay Bolton. Hated him.
Mm-hmm.
Everything about it. Look what they're doing with Inhumans. They're trying to ride his coattails on him being a hated villain, and that show is going to be awful. Just putting that out there. I've already put it out there, and that is my prediction. It is going to be the worst thing that has been come out of Marvel since Howard the Duck.
Oh, Lord.
So, moving on, today's podcast. The show, everything that goes with it, is brought to you by Loot Crate. Now, if you haven't heard of Loot Crate before, it's amazing. You get a little box, you get all the goodies inside. They got themes every month.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, oh, you like Star Wars? Oh, well, good. Here's a Star Wars Loot Crate. We got, not just Star Wars, we got Firefly. We got this, we got that. Oh, you like fantasy stuff? We got Lord of the Rings. We got Game of Thrones. We got insert other fantasy thing right here.
Literally everything you could want. Like, all fandoms are represented in Loot Crate. Like, like you said, this week it could be Marvel. Next week it could be Game of Thrones. It could be something anime. I mean, literally. Mm-hmm. I remember one I got. It was Game of Thrones, Princess Bride, Dungeons and Dragons. There's a ton of different stuff.
Got an awesome Power Ranger shirt one time.
Yeah.
It's all this stuff. It's like going to a Comic-Con and they just like shove it in one little box.
Yeah.
A little box.
I just submitted my my subscription back to Loot Crate.
There you go.
I'm very excited because I did it like 2 days ago, so I should be getting mine this month. If I remember correctly, right? Because you have to get it before the 15th.
Before the 19th.
19th.
So we'll get there. Loot Crate is offering you an opportunity to save 10% on any new subscription to lootcrate.com. All you have to do is enter promo code BRIDGE10 for 10% off. So every month, it's $20. This first month, you're getting 10% off of that. I'm not a math person. You figure that out yourself. But you have until the 19th at 9 p.m. Pacific time to subscribe. And once it's done, Jack, that's it. It's done. You're cut off for that month.
Yeah.
You'll be getting the next one, but you won't be getting any goodies. All right? I don't think they're ready for this jelly, as Beyonce once said.
And I want to say 10%, it's like 23 something after tax. It's going to be about $4. You get off $4 or $5.
Hey, $4? You can go get you a box of fries from Chick-fil-A.
Or if you get the number one, that almost pays for the entire meal.
Exactly. Go to breakfast. Get you a biscuit.
Yesterday.
Oh, nice. I probably did too. I know I did. So, by supporting Loot Crate, you're supporting our channel right here, The Nerd Cave. So you need to go over to trylootcrate.com/nerdcave and enter code BRIDGE10 to save 10% on any new subscription. Again, trylootcrate.com/nerdcave. Enter BRIDGE10 at checkout. If you enjoyed that, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you want gaming content, you can go over to Nerd Cave Gaming right there. If you want to support us, you can check out Patreon right there. If you want more videos, check them out right here. Go ahead, pick one of them. I wonder which one you're going to do. If you're going to be cool, you'd pick any of them. All 4 of them. You'd be awesome.